ऑडियो चेक। अरे all right, we are live. I have done the audio check and I am audible. The only doubt in my mind is whether there's a lot of background noise coming from my end, which I sincerely hope is not the case. We're gonna wait for a few minutes, a minute, certain amount of time, unspecified amount of time for people to join into the stream. Until then, let me very quickly. Hello, Goose. Nice to have you in the chat. A salute to you too. Welcome to the finale. And I see you are in P5. That's a good position to be starting the race from. So let me pull up the previous race. At the standings at the end of the previous race. Obviously, the drivers are aware of what's occurred over the past day or so in this race, all the reports and everything. But we shall play along. We shall have a look at it like it's an actual season finale that we're unaware in regards to the results. So we have a championship battle on our hands. We're still waiting for people to join in. So, but until then, I think once people do join in, I shall do the usual intro, and then we can carry on. So we have a championship battle on our hands, and the championship top two are 7 positions apart because they are bookending the top left of the screen right now. I can't exactly point to it, but it's Kling Kachao, who is in first position. No, sorry, in second position, and leading the way is Deco, who has, I don't think, had a very particularly memorable quali session, given that he's down in 8th place. But we will go through the order. I think we can get going in about a minute or so. I think some people have joined in. So very much looking forward to seeing how this race unfolds. From what I've heard, there's been quite some chaos at the first corner and so on and so forth. All right, I think we can maybe get going now. Yeah, I think we can get going now. So, nonetheless, I think people should join in some time. Until then, we'll start the stream. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you may be in the world. Welcome back to Aero League Racing. This is the season finale for the Monday Gr3 Championship. This is the Tier 3 White Division, and we have 14 drivers with us in the race, sprint race tonight. Let's see if maybe somebody was able to join in later on for the feature. 14 drivers with us, and we have a championship battle on our hands. We have Kling Kachao in P1, who is second in the standings. He did miss a race, so he needs to have a perfect weekend and hope that his championship rival, who is the leader, Deco, has a pretty disastrous weekend. And given by the looks of where we are seeing these two right now, Deco, I don't think, has had a particularly memorable quali, given that he's down in 8th. He is the championship leader, so he needs to take his risks in a very calculated manner. Kling needs to go absolutely all out. That's the only way he is going to have any chance at the championship at this point. 9 laps of the sprint. Let's have a look at the grid order before we get going. So Kling leads the way in the Jag. He's taken pole position. Good lap by him. I'm sure. Cherry has taken P2. Vic in P3. So from what I understand, there was some disqualification issues with, as in the wrong car. He chose the wrong car last time around, so he got disqualified. Some car issues for Vic last time around. Let's see how this race pans out for him. I'm not sure. Paul Luis, maybe a new driver, maybe somebody's changed their name. I'm not sure who this is, but welcome, Paul Luis, in the Mercedes in P4. Goose in the McLaren is 5th, and I am very eager to see the Vipers. That's what I'm here for. Sapper in P6, good quali by him. Rocket in 7th. Deco is 8th in the Alfa Romeo. Now, Deco needs to be very calculated about this race and the feature. Scoring maximum points but avoiding any unnecessary chance of picking up a penalty or a report from another driver. It's very crucial. Let's see how he approaches this race. Dijkstra is 9th in the Audi. He's shown very good pace, especially at the previous race in Spa. So I think he'll want to build up from that and just maybe aim for a podium. P9 is going to be a little difficult to get anywhere close to the podium, I think, in this race. Maybe that will change for the feature. Wiper's always on. I'm very eager to see that. I'm going to specifically have a look at that before we get going. We have Turbo Boy in 10th place. We have D-Dubs in 11th. And from what I hear, D-Dubs had some issues with his racing wheels. So I hope it hasn't caused too many people issues. I'm sure this is a new person, Gr3 Racing. So the Porsche driver in 12th, JMS, has said that he has a special livery for this race. I will have a look at that, but it is Y cube I should say, at the end of the grid. So it's a Jaguar sandwich, and JMS requested for me to have a look at the livery, which the game will be very unkind to me and not let me have a look at before we get going. So maybe I'll have a look at the end of the sprint race. So there you go. That is the order. Goose has his wipers on. Klinkachow has his sights, I should say, set on P1. Deco wants to lose minimal points as little as possible. And we have 9 laps to go. And we have a lot of new drivers, all of whom will be coming into this race with nothing to lose. Just want to get maximum points, have a good race. It's going to be a great season finale. It has been an amazing season up to now. And this is the conclusion for it. Let's hope it is a memorable one. Let's go. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights ahead of the drivers, and when the lights go out, we go racing for the penultimate time this season. And it seems to be a good start for Vic, good start for Kling, but a terrible start for Cherry. He's going down the order, he's tumbling down the order, and he's already up to P4. Sapper and Goose battling it out, but up front it is Vic who is putting Kling under quite a bit of pressure. We go through these first few section of corners for the first time in this race, and I can see further back everybody seems to be rather well behaved. Paul Lewis has got a good start up into P3 at the cost of Cherry, who just doesn't seem to be having a very good start right now. Vic is really hassling Kling as we go into this right-handed spot. It's so easy to hit the inside wall there. Hello Kling, nice to have you in the chat and nice to see you on track. You are the driver in the picture just ahead of Ferrari driver Vic. So very keen to see how everybody gets on. I don't see any damage on the front right corner, so I am assuming everybody's got through without any issues. Deco has not had a very good start. Deco's gone down the order. He is now on to P9. Turbo Boy, I think, has jumped him. Jumped him and Dijkstra actually, by the looks of it. And Dijkstra, speaking of, will be wanting to make a move on Deco, but there is a lot of close action going on here. Will Goose, with his wipers enabled, be lining up a move on Cherry? He has Sapper to worry about as well. Sapper with a good quali. We haven't seen a whole lot of him in the top 10 over the full season, so I'm glad to see that Sapper's, I think, found some confidence in this car and track combination. As we go into the final part of the track, Turbo Boy is going onto the grass there, as Rocket is not rocketing away right now. He has a bit of a gap to Sapper, but up front, Kling still leads from Vic, who is followed by Paul Lewis. Cherry is coming under a lot of pressure from Goose, and when a driver has his wipers enabled like Goose has, you can never discount him. But for all intents and purposes, Goose is himself coming under a lot of pressure from Sapper. The Ferrari driver will get a good bit of slipstream here, and I don't think he'll be able to make the move here. It will be a very risky move if he goes for it, and sensibly decides against it. Up front, Kling is still able to hold off Vic, and that seemed like a trip across the grass, or rather over the curbing. I don't think he should be taking such risks here, because I think he may just have the pace to hold off Vic for now. Further back, let's have a look. Deco still in 9th, Dijkstra still in 10th. YQ has gone up 2 places. JMS has not had a particularly pleasant start. He is where he started, and KR28 has had a problem, and I think we can see why. He is on the hards. So I He is the new Ningen, I think, of this tier. Ningen himself had once in the Monza race. Yeah, in the Monza race he had used the, and he was in the Porsche as well. So it is something about Porsche drivers making their debut in the Tier 3 white, who end up on the hard tires for some reason. Maybe they just like the tire, but maybe the Porsche is particularly quick and rapid. Let's see how he fares. DW has gone a little bit wide there. YQ coming under pressure from JMS, and I don't think there's a movement coming right now. Up front, let's have a look. Our drivers very, very close. Goose and Cherry. Are we going to see Cherry lose even more position on this opening few laps? Let's have a look. Goose looks to the inside. Cherry doesn't want to defend it right now because I think he wants to prioritize a good exit. There's a little bit of contact, I think, which we could not see due to the replay, but I'm sure there was some amount of contact. Not anything that should result in a problem though, or a report, I feel. Cherry now down a position down to P5, Goose up to P4, and Sapper is right on the tail of the BMW. Let's have a look if the American can get past the Brit as we head towards the final chicane, and there is Sapper taking a little too much grass there as we head into this section. This can be a very tricky section of corners, especially when you're chasing after another driver and when you're so close behind them. Rocket has broken free of Turbo Boy, who is coming under pressure from Dykstra, who seem to be just getting a bit of a fishtail there for a moment. Let's have a look, because it seemed to be very, very close. Were they trying to go side by side into the corner? No, it's just Dykstra putting the power down a little too early. Deco is not having a particularly pleasant race right now. He is in 10th. Dykstra in 9th has his eyes set, his sights set on P8. Is he going to be able to make it stick? Turbo Bike doesn't want to take any chances here and lets Dykstra by. Breaks a little earlier, and the Audi driver is up to P8. And Turbo Boy is now down to P9 and will be definitely coming under pressure from Deco. YCube is a little too far back from this back right now. But I think should they keep battling in the way they are, YCube should be able to catch up. Deco is taking an alternative line. Dykstra is taking a line that may well take him to the barriers. What happened there? Was there some contact that I missed or something? Or what happened there exactly? So Dykstra, oh no, just trying to put the power down a little early. He is lucky, I think, to keep it still pointing in the right way, because for a moment, well done to him, good car control. For a moment it seemed like he would just be realizing how nice and how sturdy these barriers can be around Trial Mountain. This is not going particularly well for Deco. Let's have a look. Up front is Goose chasing after Poluis. What about Cherry and Sapper? Sapper's fallen back a little bit from Cherry as we have a look. Up front, these two. So Vic is not letting Kling have a particularly easy run to the line. Kling is having to drive the wheels of that gear. I'm sure he will not be too concerned about it, but I think he just needs to keep it consistent and clean. That's all he needs to do. Just keep it within track limits. For the back, Lewis is coming under pressure from Goose, and there you go. That is the sign that a driver is absolutely going at it. Lewis needs a good exit. Goose will be aiming to get an even better exit, and with the help of Slipstream, no, he's a little too far back right now. What about these guys? Dykstra, so somebody has had an issue. What has happened to Rocket? Oh, Rocket is having a very big problem here, and you could have used those words yesterday. Well, I'm hoping nothing untoward happens here, like something very untoward has happened to Rocket here. He has found himself in the barriers and he is going to have to rejoin. Oh, this has to be so frustrating for him. But crucially, everyone here has moved up a place, Turbo Boy and below. So now I'm very keen to see what happens to Kling over the course of the next few laps. Turbo Boy now in 7th. Dykstra will be very, very keen to get back ahead. So I think I did miss this because I was pretty sure. Alright, so it was Turbo did get past Dykstra here. So let's have a look. Down the inside, simple as you like move, there is some amount of contact. Deco will be particularly pleased to see that happening ahead of him, because that will give him possibly a chance to make an overtake. Dykstra is close to the back end of that Peugeot, but he is not close enough to make a move. Deco almost, for a moment, decided to plant his car into the rear right-hand corner of Dijkstra's car, and there you can see Rocket going into the wall. Let's have a look, just fast-forwarding a little bit to get back up to the action where we were. A decent exit for Dijkstra, decent for Turbo Boy. Let's have a look as we start lap 4 of this sprint race. And it is a very intense battle between these two, Turbo Boy and Dijkstra. Last time around, Turbo braked early to avoid any unnecessary problems for himself. And this time around as well, Dijkstra gets past. Turbo is back down behind the Audi driver. Deco is now, he has been there or thereabouts with these two. I'd say he doesn't want to take any risks right now. No matter who the driver around him may be, he just doesn't want to take any unnecessary risk that may get him a report or something. Y-Cube is slowly moving up the order. He's gone from 14th to 10th. Yeah, he has been very active in trying to get past Turbo Boy, but last time around on this lap, on this section of track I should say, Turbo Boy got back past the Audi. Let's see if he will be able to repeat that this time around. So I'm not sure if this is a trend that they're going to keep up over the next few laps or so, but it seems like Dijkstra wants to make the overtake at turn 1 and Turbo Boy wants to regain the position at this left-hander. Oh, Y-Cube absolutely storming into the corner there. Was there contact with himself and D-Dub, or what happened there? Because he came in like a torpedo, as Seb Vettel once very famously said. Let's have a look what happened here. So I think he just misjudged his braking point, because that is not particularly ideal for anyone in this little battle here. Y-Cube runs into the back of Dijkstra. Deco has to take some avoiding action. And despite Dijkstra's very valiant move, he finds himself facing the barriers. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. I was gonna say he finds himself behind Turbo Boy once again, but as it turns out, he has put down the power a little bit too early and he finds himself facing the barriers with damage, and now he's behind JMS, who is in P11. He needs to, I'm sure he would want to be in P10, where DW is presently, so this will obviously give him P1 for the future. Let's see if he can do anything in regards to that. Deco, I'm not sure if he's just a little not particularly comfortable with this car or track combo, or car and track combo, or if he just doesn't want to take any risks here at all. Up front, however, somebody who will definitely be wanting to take some risks is Luis, Goose and Cherry. I'm sure the three of them will be wanting to, all three of them will be gunning for either getting to P3 or retaining P3 in the case of Luis, who has a very quick McLaren and BMW behind. And Cherry gets very close to the wall. I think he did clip it slightly. Lucky for him, there's no damage on the front right corner of the BMW. And let's have a look at this. Deco, I'm not exactly sure how he should approach this race right now. Maybe not wanting to take any risks here. What about these guys? Oh, what's happened here for Luis? He hit the wall. Yeah, he has hit the wall. Let's have a look from Goose's perspective. So here you can see Goose. You can see the Mercedes ahead of him absolutely clattering it into the wall there. And Cherry will be also seeing the recently damaged Mercedes of Luis struggling to maintain straight line speed. And there you go. Cherry gets past. Goose has already passed him. And Luis is now down to P5. Sapper is too far back to make any overtakes here. Luis is going to have to deal with that damage for a few more laps. And we have battle brewing here, battle for the lead. Vic has been on Clint's tail since the get-go. He's not been able to challenge yet for an overtake. I think he is getting very, very close to doing so. Kling, I think, has had to really use up a lot of his tires. You can see the difference in their both their front right tires. And Vic is trying to go long way around the outside and almost has a big snap. He does have a big snap, somehow keeps it under control, so well done. And we have Robbo saying that he had not wish he had used sprint tires, so I'm assuming Robbo, this is you, KR28. And fair enough. I think the Porsche has a particularly some particular affection towards the hard tires. We had another driver do the exact same thing at Monza, so maybe it's the Porsche and new driver combo that does this, but nonetheless, Kling, fair enough. I mean, at this point you do have that dwelling over your mind that you have a very important championship to fight for and need to gain the maximum amount of points, and in moments like this it is possible to just have a momentary lapse in concentration which can lead to the driver behind you challenging you for the race lead. As we can see here, as I was narrating that, Kling had a bit of a moment there at the exit of the tunnel and Vic got very close, wasn't able to make the move there. Further back we will have a look at these guys just for a moment. Deco is slowly catching up to Turbo and the rest of the positions are the same. We are going to have a look at this because I saw Kling have a moment there at corner exit. Let's have a look. Going through this left-hander, we've seen another driver pick up damage. That was for Lewis. This time around, Kling hits the wall, and I'm a little surprised. That seemed like it would have been grounds for getting some front right damage, but somehow Kling does not have damage. Vic is trying to team the slipstream for as long as possible. Will he go inside or outside? He goes to the outside. Will he be able to outbrake Kling? No, he cannot. Kling still has the inside line and has the track position and still holds on to P1. But it is getting very problematic for the Jaguar driver. The championship protagonist as well, I might add. Kling is coming under so much pressure from the Ferrari behind, which is a pretty neat livery, I must say, by Vic. Good, nice livery. Goose coming under pressure from Cherry, but I think they've just been like following each other this way for the past 2 or 3 laps since whenever they overtook Paul Luis. Sapper, I think, is just going to want to wait and see if those ahead have some skirmishes, argy-bargies, side-by-side action, because that will open up the door for him. Vic is about to start lap 7 following Kling. We all about it. Or every driver is about to start lap 7, I should say, not just specifically the two of them. But let's have a look. Kling and Vic. Kling is not sure what's happening here next lap. Oh, well, that would mean this lap, I think, because I think the chat takes some time to be delivered to me. But there you go, Kling. The exit of this tunnel part is proving to be very problematic for Kling. He has once again lost quite a bit of time to Vic, and the pair of them are losing time to Goose and Cherry. Paul Lewis is a little too far back right now. Sapper is, I think, just wanting to hold on to this P6. It would be a pretty good P6, I should add. Pair of them get to 12. Turbo and Deco. Deco's putting Turbo under some pressure. Let's have a look up front though. This is the battle that we are really looking out for, apart from the battle between Deco and Turbo Boy. Vic goes to the outside and there is almost contact between the Jag and the Ferrari. Vic brakes late, but Kling has the all-important inside line. He has mentioned that this sector is where it all started to unravel for him in the sprint. Let's have a look if this is the sector. Oh, sorry, not that button. Kling takes this right-hander, and this is where we saw Rocket's race unfold a few laps ago. This time around, is Kling going to fall victim to that as well as... Oh, I think he's taken a little too much inside curbing there. Oh no, he has. Let's have a look. The car sponsored by Only Fun, as we can see there on the rear windshield. Kling has just gone over the track limits a little too much there, and that has resulted in a half-second penalty for the race leader, championship protagonist. And that's just not what you need at this stage in the race. Kling still ahead of Vic. I think he will have the opportunity to service penalty the next lap, so I think that's in a way a blessing, because that he can focus on getting a good run on this lap and minimizing the time lost. Vic, however, has been very rapid. Let's see what he can do. If he can try and keep the gap to himself, between himself and Kling at a minimum. It just seems like Kling is having a torrid time here. He had a great run out of the last corner, but then he's just gone over the grass there and completely thrown it away. Vic has gotten ahead of the Jaguar driver. They're still very close to one another, but I'm sure Vic will get the better exit there. Both of them have a little snap oversteer. Now Goose is behind the Jaguar driver, and this has just gone from bad to worse for Kling. Getting a penalty, losing a position, and having The driver with the wipers trademark right behind you. Through this long tunnel section, Kling will get the slipstream. Kling will have an opportunity to try and get ahead of Vic, but I don't think it will be very beneficial for him because Vic has the inside line, which is very important as we saw in the last lap. Kling had the inside line. He was able to hold on to P1, and what's happening here? Whoa. It almost seems like Kling is trying to put Vic towards the wall quite a bit. Bruce and Kling very close, but okay, we can hear a lot of barrier clattering further back. I think that is Cherry. Paul Lewis is behind them, so don't discount anyone here. This is still all positions are up for grabs here. Goose could still end up having a shot at the race win. This is the penultimate lap and we are about to begin the final lap. Further back I will have a look. I can see in the standings there that Deco has managed to get ahead of Turbo. We will have a look at that in a few moments, but there you go. Kling's race is about to become so problematic here. He has been forced to slow down and Goose will get past him. The Beamer will get past him. What about Paul Lewis? Paul Lewis is a little too far back, I think, to make the move, unless he tries a Dijkstra style move into turn 1, which I don't think he can. He is not close enough. Cherry and Goose battling it out, and Cherry is putting Goose under a lot of pressure. Before the race ends, I will just have a look at this. Unless I missed something. No. Deco was behind, so let's have a look. This is the previous lap, so mind you, I did not follow this because we had a pretty intense battle. Race lead there, and Deco some argy-bargy, there's some elbows out racing, but no, it's a pretty nice move by Deco, and I just don't think Turbo Boy has the pace to then keep up with Deco once he got ahead. So there you go, Deco up into P7, and not a whole lot that Turbo Boy can do. Let's have a look at the final lap. Let's get back to the action. Look at how close Goose and Cherry are right now as we go into this uphill section, this very tricky section of the track. It's so easy to pick up an unnecessary penalty here. Cherry just is going to go absolutely at it and trying to get past Goose. He goes to the inside, has a look at least, isn't able to get past. Paul Lewis is hassling Kling Kajau, the driver who led for so long. Kling is now down to P4. He could still have a chance at podium if he is able to stick with Goose and Cherry. Paul Lewis hits the wall there, picks up some damage, and this could be a good opportunity for Sapper to have or rather make a move. Torpedo incoming. Well then, I am going to be focusing my undivided attention on the Jag, the Beamer and the McLaren as we head down this tunnel with the amazing slipstream that we can see Kling is getting. Let's see which one of these three is going to be coming out on top. And as we go into the corner, whoa! Daniel Kvyat seems to have returned in all his glory there. Whoa, what happened there? Goose will not be very happy. Kling has gone for an actual torpedo there by the looks of it. And he has fallen to, well, he actually stays in P4. It's Cherry who has been the biggest beneficiary in all this. Paul Lewis gets ahead of Kling right at the end there. So I'm not sure where Sapper is, because he was right behind Paul Lewis. But there you go. Cherry on the very last lap manages to make the overtake thanks to Kling's overtake attempt on Goose. Goose has fallen to P3, but Vic, what a drive. He put Kling under immense pressure throughout the race. He's gone a little bit deep into that corner, but it won't matter because he has enough of a gap behind him. Vic, what a drive. He will come across the line, the Italian in the Ferrari. That's a brilliant combination, and he will win the race. Very well done by Vic, very well done by Cherry. Goose will not be very happy with that last lap shenanigans. He is P3, Paul Lewis is 4th, Kling is 5th, Sapper in 6th. Deco finishes ahead of Turbo. Deco 7th, Turbo 8th, Y-Cube 9th. Whoa! What happened there between D-Dubs and... what happened there? Y-Cube and D-Dubs, or was that just a little usual decent there? So, Y-Cube in 9th, D-Dubs in 10th, Dijkstra after that spin could only recover to 11th. JMS not particularly happy, I'm sure, with P12. Rocket, he'll be very upset with that earlier crash. He will finish in unlucky 13th, and KR28, who is regretting the fact that he chose the hard tires for the race. So you can't blame him. Definitely, he is going to be in 14th and last place. So JMS requested for me to have a look at the. Oh no, I didn't want that. Sorry, I wanted this. Yeah. So JMS mentioned that there is some special liveries that he's gone for, special edition that he's gone for to the livery. Constructors Champions question mark. Well, the drivers know and everybody who's had a look at the points table knows, but let's just say we will be eagerly looking forward to seeing whether the Constructors Champions Championship can be claimed by the Alpha pair as well. And he said that there was something relating to a unicorn, which is something that Carlos Sainz fans and F1 fans, I think, will be particularly happy to see. I don't see anything unless it's underneath the rear wing. No, it's not. So JMS, if you are able to see this stream, then please do let us know where the other special thing is, because I've seen the constructors right there. Hello, Cube, welcome to the chat. Thank you for a pretty entertaining race, and GG's on the P9. Now with the sprint done, we move over to the feature race. It's not been an ideal sprint for not the sprint, yeah, feature. It's not been an ideal sprint for Kling, but he still finished ahead of Deco. He has 2 positions ahead, so it won't be a whole lot of points gained, but it is points that he's gained on his championship rival. And let's have a look. So obviously order reversed, and whoa, what's happening here? Oh, some issue? Why is it saying Kling in P1? D-Dubs leads. Okay, so maybe just a slight issue there. So, we'll get to that. I'm not sure what's happened here. Some sort of issue with the replay. But D-Dubs is the leader. Don't look at the top left for now. D-Dubs is going to lead them away on the hard tires. So I think the best strategy for this track is the one-stop. Medium to hard, hards to medium, either or, depending on what you're more comfortable with. D-Dubs is on the hards, Y-Cube is on the mediums, and for some reason there's a blue flag. Great game. Turbo Boy on the hards. Deco is also on the hards. Sapper is updated for the mediums, and so behind Sapper, for some reason it says Paul Lewis, it is Kling. So let's have a look. So Sapper in 6th, Kling is 7th, and he is on the hards. Paul Lewis is on the hards as well in P8. Goose is going to be 8th in the order on the hards as well. So is Cherry, so is Vic. So Vic had a fantastic run last time around in the sprint. Let's see what he can do in the feature. The Extra is 11th, also on the hards. So is JMS. Rocket on the mediums, alright, so we have somebody on the mediums. And KR28, I don't think has decided to change his tires in the pit stop phase. The Porsche drivers love their hard tires this season, at least, the new Porsche drivers. So there you go. We will be having a look at D-Dubs. It says P2, believe me, it is P1. And why there's a problem there, and there's a massive gap between 13 and 14. Yeah, I'm not sure why that game does that. It's with the chicane here, and I'm not sure why it is still saying Kling in P1. Maybe we'll have to, well, it's more of an issue for me, because I just need to navigate these guys in a very weird manner. Oh, there you go. It's now alright. Kling in 6th now, so D-Dubs leads the way, and let me have a look at that, because I was very confused. Y-Cube has got a pretty bad start. Not sure what's happened here, because D-Dubs is so far ahead. Wait, I just need to have a look at that once again. Not sure what's happened here. Y-Cube has been slowed down by the game, or he's not put the power down early enough, or what, but there's a huge gap between himself and D-Dubs, and between himself and Turbo Boy. So I think these guys, there's some issue with the blue flags or something here, because we can see the blue flags being waved by the virtual marshal there as well. But there you go. What a perfect start for D-Dubs there. This would be the start he's dreamt of. And it's a replay bug. I hope so. But the gaps I don't think are a bug. It does seem to be D-Dubs with a huge advantage ahead of YCube, and YCube with a huge advantage ahead of Turbo. And yeah, I just don't know. Sometimes this game can really amaze all of us. Deco with a good run. So after the initial problems, D-Dubs has a huge lead. YCube has a huge lead. Turbo Boy is under a lot of pressure from Deco, Sapper and Kling. Kling wants to make moves. He can see his championship rival very close ahead of him. Will he be able to make the move on Sapper Kling? Let's have a look. Sapper covers it off, and I don't think there's going to be any positions traded here. Turbo goes very wide, but he is still ahead of Deco. So yeah, I think there's some issue with the game. It's not the first time this game has seen issues, but yeah, I think just need to be aware of the fact that at any moment in time the game can decide to throw in a blue flag and cause you some troubles. Kling dives on the inside, gets ahead of Sapper. Paul Luis will be keen to get past the Ferrari, but I don't necessarily think he will want to go for the move here, because Sapper will be very easily able to close the door on him. Sapper has the inside, but Paul Luis, I think, has been able to make the move stick. Sapper and Paul Luis respectful racing. Cherry having a little bit of a tail end snap there, but up front Deco is putting Turbo under a lot of pressure. Trouble for Deco is he also has his championship rival right behind him. They both will be looking to gain the maximum amount of points from this race. Kling needs to finish ahead of Deco in any case, and Deco just made that a little easier for him. Kling will be definitely having his confidence boosted because of that. Deco goes very, very wide there, and the championship protagonists were so close to one another, and then Kling had a tail end snap there. So the pair of them took to the grass, playing the little farming simulator, and at the end of the tunnel, Kling was able to draw alongside and then had a huge moment there. He is lucky to be facing the right way, given the hecticness of that situation. So well done, good car control by Kling. Well, one would say not good enough if that little snap of overstay happened there. What's happening to Kling? On these hard tires, Kling is struggling, and it's just not, look at it, we've not seen this sort of issues for Kling the whole in the entirety of the sprint, and the hard tires just don't seem to be suiting the Jag very well. Paul Luis is looking to make some moves. The Mercedes also on the hard tires, looking to get past Deco. I don't necessarily think Deco will be taking too many risks. The hards were tough, to be fair enough here. Even I was on the hards. It was very, very problematic until I realized that those around me were on the mediums and that I was trying to match their pace and completely ruining my tires in the process. But let's see. I don't think there's a whole lot of people on the mediums here. So we have one driver on the mediums, the Sapper, who will be very, very eager to make moves, very, very eager to get past these hard tire runners. He will have the pace advantage right now. As the laps tick, obviously the advantage will be reduced. Deco has lost the place to Paul Luis. Kling and Goose are battling it out, so let's have a look. Cherry is, I don't think, having a particularly pleasant time. Vic has held position for now. Up front, YCube is very, very close to lead up, so the gap, a huge gap, has come down to absolutely nothing, pretty much. Turbo Boy has Paul Luis behind him, and there's too many battles to follow right now. Deco has a bit of a snap there, which could open up the door for Sapper as we start lap 3 of this race. And Deco in 5th, Sapper in 6th, and I don't think Sapper will be able to get ahead of Deco right now. Kling was coming under pressure from Goose. Vic and Cherry battling it out. Vic is trying to get ahead, but no, Cherry will not be giving up that P9 so easily. And JMS now looking to try and find a way past the Italian. In the Ferrari, through this tunnel we go. This long left-hander, this tricky left-hander where it all went awry for Kling 1 lap ago. And this time around it's gone awry for Kling before we even get to the tunnel. What's happened here to Kling the Chow? Oh, that's as straightforward as you'd like. That's wondering where the penalty could have come from. But Kling's race is not going well. No doubt about it. He is not particularly enjoying the hard tires right now. And there's another issue, which is the half-second penalty that's looming on his head. Y-Cube is ahead of D-Dubs. Let me have a look at that. So, through the tunnel, D-Dubs. As I said, there's so many battles. Oh, D-Dubs has gone very, very wide there. And Y-Cube sails past. Oh, I thought there was going to be some very, very close racing between the two of them. Maybe some little bit of contact, but nonetheless, never mind. Y-Cube gets ahead of D-Dubs and, well, he has a pretty comfortable advantage behind him. Even D-Dubs has a pretty comfortable advantage behind him right now. Turbo Boy in third. Well, it's actually now Paul Lewis is coming under pressure. Paul Lewis is not able to keep up with Turbo Boy right now. And as we start the tunnel section there, we can see Kling with the penalty. Sapper will with the slipstream. Let's see what Sapper can do. Can he get past Deco? Can he make it a double overtake, or will he just be holding on? Whoa, whoa, whoa! What's happening here to? Oh, sorry. For a moment, I thought that was D-Dubs. For a moment there, I thought that was the Mercedes of D-Dubs having some issues. I completely forgot that we were following this battle and not the battle for P3. Sorry. Deco, Sapper, getting very, very close, but they are all going to hold position for now. Sapper is sliding around a little too much. Won't be particularly helpful for his race. Turbo Boy, I'm not sure is Turbo Boy having some issues because he seems to be struggling a whole lot with the car right now. Paul Lewis is getting very close to the back end of that Peugeot, and we'll have a look at it from Sapper's perspective. Maybe we can see there Kling, who will be forced to slow down. He will lose a position to Goose, and I think that will be the limit of it. He is indicating very nicely that he doesn't want to get in Goose's way, and the McLaren driver with the iconic wipers is going to get ahead. Cherry is too far back. Vic has not been able to find a way past Cherry after that, and the hards warmed up was a lot better. Yeah, definitely the hards got better through the stint. So let's see what how these drivers fare. And Vic taking to the grass a little bit there, but lucky for him, I don't think there's any harm done. JMS had a bit of a forgettable race this one. He's not been in the top 10, I think, at all at any point in the race weekend. Dykstra with that spin, with that loss of rear end grip in the sprint, has had to endure a very difficult start to the feature race. Rocket also not having a very good time, and KR28 is at the back, but I think that is him who is saying that the hards were a lot better once they were warmed up, and I can agree with that because that was exactly the case for me. Somebody who was also not having a very good time is Turbo Boy. I thought it would be a very easy run for him to get after D-Dubs, but as it turns out, it's Paul Lewis who is putting Turbo under quite a bit of pressure. And as we go towards the hairpin left-hander at the end of this long straight, Paul Lewis, I think, will be able to find a way down the inside of the Peugeot driver, and Sapper will follow suit. Well done. Oh, there is some contact there. Turbo was struggling, and I think his struggles are about to be exemplified. Deco obviously lost the position to Sapper there, who's gone up to P4. So let's have a look if there was some contact there. I thought it was just a simple, straightforward move by Sapper. Fair enough, I've heard quite a few drivers don't like this track very much. So I think that is also the cause of some of their struggles. Deco tried to go for the switchback there, but Sapper, I think, just got the better run, and Turbo was a little too close. So Deco has lost a position. Turbo's lost 2 positions. He's now down to P5, and he's not having a very good time right now. Kling chasing after Goose. Obviously his penalty didn't help him. Goose is in a good position. I think he is in a pretty good position, I'd say, because the two around him, Deco and Kling, are championship protagonists. They are fighting for a title here. He knows he can take risks with them because they won't be particularly keen to try and do some aggressive defense or something on him, or even aggressive overtakes, because the last thing they want right now is penalties and people reporting them. So Goose can be taking some risks. Deco, I think, maybe wanting to take a risk here. Paul Lewis and Sapper very close, but I think the Mercedes driver will be able to hold on to that P3 for the time being. What about these two? Turbo just does not seem to be having a good time whatsoever. Similar to how Kling was struggling in the first few laps. Turbo's gone wide. That could open up the door for the Alpha driver to try and get past. This is the championship leader as well, mind you. So he has a lot to think about before making any kind of overtake. They both graze the wall, no damage done there, but they should be careful to not replicate that again anytime soon. Sapper's got a good exit there. Deco's got a decent exit. Let's see if Turbo can get some distance slipstream from those ahead. Luis will, I think, should go to the inside to defend it, but no. Just let Sapper draw alongside. We can see D-Dubs in the distance there. Y-Cube has just disappeared. I think he's made the most of the opportunity available of having this blue flag shenanigans at the start. So here we can see Deco getting past Turbo Boy. We saw Sapper and Luis trading places. Luis went very deeper in the corner. Turbo Boy, I think, tried to go for the switchback. It did not work out for him there. And the Peugeot driver falls to 6th. Deco is up a position to 5th. Further back, Kling has not been able to keep up with Goose. Actually is coming under some pressure from Cherry further back. But Sapper is driving very well. I agreed he is on the mediums and those around him are all on the hards, but he is still having to make these overtakes on track. And let's see, from my personal experience driving the Ferrari, like in season 16 I think it was, around this very track, it is pretty decent with tires, and I think he could in theory do a one-stop, Sapper, going from the mediums to the hards around about lap 11 or so. Let's see how his race pans out. He could be in contention for a podium here, I think, Sapper, given the pace he's shown. He has been very confident with the car. I don't think I can say that for the rest of the season. He's not been particularly enjoying the car. Let's see if Sapper can hold on to this podium opportunity that he has ahead of him. Luis is very close behind him though, so he will have to drive the wheels of that Maranello car. Not Maranello, I think it's just the F1 team base. That's what I'm used to saying. D-Dubs is having... Well, he's not able to keep up with Y-Cube right now, or maybe it's just that the pair of them are losing time to these guys behind. Sapper, Luis, Deco, Turbo. Turbo's not got a good exit here. I think actually Turbo may be under pressure from Goose. Let's see if the McLaren can get past the Peugeot into the hairpin left-hander. Kling is... This is not going Kling's way whatsoever. Up front, let's have a look. Turbo and Goose, and the cinematic camera has finally decided to give me a good angle, and Goose is now ahead of Turbo Boy. Sapper and Luis are were very close, but they still hold position. No, whoa, what happened there, mate? D-Dubs has a moment at the pit exit. I will keep an eye out for that when he does pit. So what happened here to Luis? Just comes a little too hot into the corner there and gives Sapper a little nudge. So not a lot of harm done, but I'm not sure Sapper will be very pleased with that. I get 1.5 second penalty on lap 5. Wait, what? Oh, fair enough, yeah. Well, how did that happen, YQ? I was wondering where the gap just evaporated out of nowhere. So let's have a look at YQ's penalty. Oh, there you go. But for what? That is one. And is it another? Wait, 1.5 for that. So we are having a look at YQ's penalty here. So there's a huge gap behind him that we can see. And fair enough. I think a 1 may have been feasible, but I think 1.5 is not too contentious here. So there you go. So there you go. YQ had to slow down, and I think this is a testament to how well he's driven. That even with the 1.5 second slowdown, he was still able to maintain a pretty respectable gap to P2. So all he needs to do is avoid. It's a harsh penalty, yes, but then again there is an advantage to be gained if you straight line the track at that part. So I wouldn't say it's debatable there. It is fair enough. Okay, what's happening here to these guys? So there is a penalty, fair enough. I would say it is completely justified to get a penalty for doing that. The harshness of that can be debated. Goose goes over the track there. I'm not sure. Oh, what's happened here? Whoa, 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 whoa. Who's this? Deco! Championship leader is in the middle of the track. Chasing after Paul and Sapper. He takes too much grass there at the entry. And oh, thanking his lucky stars. He is not just glued to the barrier there. Or he doesn't have any damage either. So, drama here. Despite Kling's bad race, somehow Deco's had an even worse part of the race here. He is now down to 11th. He's outside the top 10. His championship rival is not having a good time either, but now he has a much better chance. And he needs to make the most of this opportunity that's been provided to him, I'm sure. And he needs to go for it. He absolutely needs to go for it right now. And this is just thrown the race on his head here. The race has been turned on its head, not thrown on its head, sorry. Sometimes I mess up these statements sometimes. Yes, indeed, that is very, very rough for Deco and very, very amazing for Kling. Jag Driver gets ahead of Turbo Boy, and this I'm sure will be his way to path to the possible championship win. He has a proper shot here. He finished ahead of Deco in the sprint. He is ahead of Deco right now. Deco, his confidence will not be particularly high right now. However, he knows that he has the pace. He was battling it out with these guys up front, Paul Louis, Sapper, and so on. So, well, let's see how it all goes for Deco from here and for Kling. Let's see where Kling is. Kling is in P6. YQ, but 2-second penalty. That is problematic, to say the least. I will be keeping an eye out for that. As for the current trends, I would assume that would maybe have cost you your advantage while you were in the lead or something of the sort, given how far ahead you are right now of P2. Sapper is now putting D-Dubs under pressure. Sapper, I don't think, has been so confident with the car at any point. And I think the one race where he's got confidence, he has a really good chance of getting a very, very good result. Possible P2 maybe for the Ferrari driver. He needs to maximize his strategy here and not make any unnecessary mistakes. I would say maybe lap 11 or so he can pit Sapper. That I think is fair enough. Paul Louis is a little too far back. Kling has slowly and steadily reduced the gap to Goose. Turbo Boy is just tumbling down the order. He's not having a good time. Vic now running in 8th. So Cherry has fallen down the order. I'm not sure what's happened to the Beamer driver there, but there you can see Deco behind him. It is imperative for Deco that he regains as much time as possible, as many positions as possible. So very important for him to get back into the, at least I'd say the top 5 in order to avoid letting Kling get away with the championship here. So we have a battle on our hands. Sapper versus D-Dubs. D-Dubs is struggling with the car here. And so YQ were the mediums as well. So the two medium runners, I think there's a third medium runner, someone further back. But the two medium runners out front are having a pretty good time. Sapper has been steadily moving up the order. And it is now the Ferrari driver battling D-Dubs for P2. With the strategy phase very soon, the strategy phase about to start very soon, I should say. Sapper needs to avoid losing time stuck behind D-Dubs right now. Trouble is, I think for D-Dubs, look at the state of his tires compared to that of Sapper. It's barely any difference, especially in the front right, which was the biggest problem yesterday night. D-Dubs, I think, is using up too much of his tires right now. Or is it just my imagination? Because it seemed like for a moment Paul Louis is having a similar amount of tire wear, -5 brake bias, and now still killing the front right. Yeah, the front right was taking a battering at this track. And -5, that is completely to the front, right? -5? Yeah. I was running +2, the rear brake bias, so it is, I think, all different driving styles. Some people handle it well, but nonetheless, I think despite it being positive and negative, the brake balance. We all were struggling with our front right tire. That's all the way to the rear. No, that's positive 5. That's not negative 5. If you're running the rear bias, then it's positive 5. But let's see. Okay, so we have Sapper into the pit lane, and the Ferrari driver is going onto the hards about 2 laps earlier than I thought he would. And yeah, plus 5. Fair enough, yeah. On that. D-Dubs is struggling, coming under pressure from Paul Lewis. We have Sapper in the pits. Let's see where Sapper comes out. It is about a 35 second pit lane, something like that, depending on how much fuel you need to take on. And JMS and Gr3 are battling it out. It's the battle of P12. So even though they are currently outside the top 10, does that not let them take away from the fact that it is a pretty good battle between these two. Porsche versus Alfa Romeo, and Gr3 is ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Sapper emerges in 14th. He is at the very back, but he has made his pit stop. And mediums. Wait, what? No. Is it a bug? I hope it's a bug. I hope he's not wanting to make 2 pit stops here. It's not the fastest pit lane, it's not the slowest pit lane either, but you lose so much time here going through, making a second trip through the pits. Sapper has gone from a medium, he's going for a 2-stop. Oh no. Well, not necessarily, oh no, I don't know how his race unfolds from here, goes from here, but I don't think it is worth it to go for a 2-stop here. Paul Lewis gets past the struggling D-Dubs, who is just not having a very good time whatsoever. YQ, either this lap or the next, he will be pitting, because look at the state of that front right. Now he's taking a break from... Oh, definitely do tune in Kling. I'm very keen to see how the race... how it pans out for you from here on. Your teammate is pitting, YQ, coming into the pits, the Spanish driver. Paul Lewis, actually all these guys are on the hards, they don't need to pit right now. Look at Goose's tires. Oh, D-Dubs is gone. Whoa, what's happened here? He grinds to a halt here, D-Dubs. Look at his accelerator here, maybe? What's happened here? He brakes. Oh. I think this is the issues that he's had with his wheel or something, and I'm assuming this is the AI taking over, which is going to cause troubles for Dykstra. Oh no. Dykstra had to take proper evasive action there. Deco, after that spin, he has got past Cherry. Yellow flag there, as we can see there. Dykstra, let's have a look from his perspective. We can see the Mercedes completely coming onto the racing line from the same part of the track that he was about to come across, Dykstra. And there you go, D-Dubs has gone from 2nd to 10th, 9th on the C passes YQ. But the race is completely unraveled here for D-Dubs. He's now ahead of these two, JMS and Gr3. So Gr3 is now running P10, but again, all these guys need to make their pit stops. Let's see where YQ comes out. He's taken on quite a bit more fuel than Sapper did. Where is Sapper, speaking of? Oh, he is right beside YQ, and as we go into turn 1, no, that's not the angle I wanted. Sapper swipes across, and yeah, there you go. Sapper got ahead of YQ after YQ's pit stop. However, Sapper needs to make another pit stop, no matter what, to change onto the mandatory compound. I think if there was one race where you didn't need to go for a 2-stop, it was this one. I'm not sure why. Yeah. The sparkles or the sparkly paintwork. Hello JMS, welcome to the chat. And oh, well, this is not the way you want to see yourself start the stream. What happened here? Why is there a 1 second penalty? Oh, whoa, what's happening to D-Dubs again into turn 1? So GMS going over the curbing there, and oh, once again there's issues for D-Dubs going slowly. And JMS, I'm sure, has to take evasive action here more than anything. He was a little too far back to have to avoid that right now. But there you go, JMS has joined the stream and he can see himself get a 1 second time penalty. KR28 goes very wide there, but nothing that JMS could do there. And yes, it was evasive action, but as per the game, you've committed a very heinous crime there. Whoa, KR almost losing the rear end there. So now it is very crucial to see what these guys are going to do. Paul Luis leads. I'm assuming it's going to be like lap 13 or so for these guys, and they're going to pit. JMS and KR28 battling it out. So this is the battle for P9 right now. Those behind them, apart from D-Dubs, have all pitted. And the Hards are struggling. Hards could be very problematic at any point. Okay, this is very close racing between these two. They have been providing us with a lot of entertainment the whole race. It is about to be halted, I'd say, slightly between these two because of JMS's penalty. The Irishman having to serve the penalty. Goose pits and Turbo Boy pits. Isn't that too early? Maybe another lap? I think these guys would go to like lap 13 or so. End of lap 13 maybe. I'm not sure exactly what strategy they're gonna go for, but let's see how it all plays out for them. So here we see JMS having to slow down. KR28 is sliding too much, I think, for his own good, and JMS slows down, not because of choice, but because he was forced to. And the Alpha driver with the sparkly livery and the Constructors Champions question mark is now currently in 9th place. Sapper has made his pit stop, but there you see Goose with the wipers. We can see from a driver's perspective there. Goose, that is the perfect side that you want to see. Turbo's pitted and Goose pitted, so they are out on the mediums. Y-Cube was on the mediums, he's gone on to the hards. So he can push the tires a lot more than these two around him can. However, he is going to struggle with grip. Now I'm very keen to see how this plays out. He couldn't do more than 9 laps on mediums. I think that is fair enough. What is 15 and 22? That makes it 7 or 8, right? Yeah, I did 8 laps on mediums and the rest on the hards. So, well, let's see how it pans out. Well, hazards are good, but wipers are better. And Goose has been known to be very, very affectionate in regards to turning on the wipers very diligently. He's done so every single race from what I can see. So the top 3 pitted. Let's have a look. Top 4 actually, everyone in the pits. So Paulo is pits, Kling pits, Vic is also coming into the pit lane, the Ferrari driver. Dykstra pits. And it's a case of do whatever he does actually, not do whatever he doesn't do. D-Dubs overtakes you in the pits. I have to have a look at that. Let's have a look at this. D-Dubs and KR28 both pitting at the same time. Will JMS follow them in? No. So it's the 2 Alfa Romeos that have stayed out, Deco and JMS, for one more lap, the hard runners. And unless they're planning to go into the I'm not sure what they're trying to do in the softs or the mediums. Off in the wet, on in the dry. I was about to mention that it was off for the entirety of the Spa race, the race that shall not be talked about. This resulted in some very interesting memories, I'd say, for ALR people to look back on in the future. Kling has exited and Kling is taken on less fuel than those around him. Kling and Goose got very close. Kling is in P5, he's on the mediums. He will have to do fuel conservation here to get to the end without a whole lot of trouble. JMS and Deco are yet to pit. Deco is fighting for a championship here, fighting to hold on to his championship lead. Kling has a good chance, however, I think in his bid to get out of the pits early, he has taken on too little fuel here. He is behind Goose, so as of right now, I think he is in net P3. Kling. Will that be enough, the amount of fuel? That's my concern here for Kling. For Luis, could have a chance at the podium, you never know, given that he is... okay, we have Turbo and Y-Cube battling it out. Let's have a look at this battle here. Y-Cube versus Turbo Boy. Y-Cube has the inside line. Turbo is going to hold on to track position, I think, but he's gone a little bit wide there. Will that be enough to allow the Jag to draw alongside and get ahead? No, it is not. Y-Cube is still in P8. Turbo is still in P7, and these two are getting close to one another. Dykstra and Vic close on track, I should say. And as we go into the final section, that is Dykstra grazing the wall slightly, and Vic is not been able to replicate his incredible pace from the sprint right now, at least. Sapper, I'm not sure what he intends to do here, because he has to pit again. When does he decide to do it? He's not able to get ahead of, rather he's not able to get clear of Goose right now by enough. It's a long pit lane as well. If he pits, he'll come out around about these guys. Yeah, fair enough, there was a random bit of gloom over the track, I should say. Dark clouds coming over the track, no rain incoming. Cherry, well, it has rained on his parade, I think. He's down in 11th and it's a long way back from the next car. I'm not sure why or how Cherry's race has unfolded here. Maybe there was a penalty or something that troubled the Beamer driver. And I must thank... no, it's not Cherry. Is it Cherry who's uploaded the replay? No, it's Goose. I think. Thank you, Goose, for uploading the replay. Vic and Dykstra getting close. Thank you to GMS and Goose for uploading the replays. Very kind of the both of you. Kling needs to make moves. Goose wants the race win. And as I've said so many times already, Sapper has to pit. If he had to pit, JMS is struggling. At least it looked like that from Sapper's perspective. Deco pits, alright. Deco has come into the pit lane. JMS is about to enter the pit lane as well, I'm sure. Yeah, there you go. Oh, there's a little bump there at the pit entry. JMS has used up a little more fuel than his teammate. And let's see where Deco can emerge out. Only for that. Oh. Yeah, for some drivers this is not a very fun one. Do you like this track, GMS? Because it just doesn't seem like it. The whole weekend you've had a pretty torrid time of it, I should say. I don't like to say it, but unfortunately that is what I've been able to see right now. Where will Deco emerge? Where will JMS emerge? Deco will come out onto the track in P9 ahead of Cherry. Thought you did. Alright, yeah. Sometimes we... Yeah, for instance, I thought I liked Monza, but what happened, my tier was just... I had to take a step back and just calm myself down. That's why I didn't do the race at Spa, because I just didn't have the peace of mind to do the Spa race in my tier. I think it was a wise decision to avoid that. Mountains on the side of the car. But it is a very nice livery, I should say. Oh, your teammate is scraping that livery of the Alfa Romeo right now, and that is going to allow Cherry to get ahead, and the Beamer driver gets past. Deco just drew alongside a little too early there, and Vic and Dykstra battling it out. Vic goes on the inside. Oh no! There's contact, and well, I'm glad that Vic was able to keep it in a straight line there. Despite that, Dykstra and Vic are going at it, and I think this time around Dykstra is going to stay ahead, at least for the time being. YQ not enjoying the hard tires, I'm sure. Turbo is, I think, getting some pace back on these medium tires. When what's happening here? I thought I saw a position change for a moment. Goose chasing after Kling. White was enabled, so you know he is absolutely going at it. Into the chicane we go. And never mind, I think we'll just saw something wrong there. Kling needs to stay where he is right now. Yeah, sorry, this is what I was trying to say. Kling got past Goose. I don't think I followed this earlier on. I was following the battle further back between Deco and Cherry. And Kling gets past Goose, who I don't think is particularly keen to keep trying to battle the Jaguar driver. As we go into the final part of the track here, lap 15 of 22, Paul Luis is a few seconds back. I think we are going to see a battle between Goose and Kling over the next few laps. Sapper leads. Okay, I'm not going to say it. I've said it too many times already. But the RM needs to become an RS or an RH before the end of the race. Somebody went over the curbing there. Was that Goose or was that Kling? Whoever it was, I don't think it seems to be an issue for them. Neither of them has a penalty. Paul Luis can see Goose ahead of him and will be keen to try and get that P3 of Goose. Turbo Boy running in P5. Y-Cube is coming under pressure. So Dykstra and... Oh no, Dykstra. 1.5 seconds. What happened here? Let's have a look. Is it this corner again? It is this corner again. A penalty there is fair, I'd say. That is the case for everyone. However, the harshness can be debated on. I feel like a 1 second would be enough for that. You do gain time there, and you do gain an advantage by taking that line. But 1.5 just seems a little too harsh for that. And as we go towards the tunnel section, Dykstra has a very big problem looming over his head. Oh! Whoa! What happened there? Vic is ahead. Does Dykstra just send it down the inside? There we go. Oh! Okay. That is way too close for comfort. I think Dykstra just saw an opportunity and Vic wanted to cover it off, or maybe Dykstra just sent it. Either or. Dykstra is now ahead, and fair enough. Dykstra has found his way ahead of Vic, who will be very, very upset with the manner in which Dykstra got ahead. And I'm assuming, as per the messages I've seen, this is one of the incidents that may have been reported. Given that it has cost Vic some race time, Dykstra has the penalty. Y-Cube is struggling, but he is still ahead of these two. And I think Vic will wait for the main straight to try and get past these guys, get ahead of Dykstra. And we are about to start lap 17. Sapper, Kling and Co have just started lap 17, as we can see in the track map there. Cherry and Deco. So Deco's not having a good time. Dykstra being forced to slow down. Vic is now going to set up for Y-Cube. Oh, what's happening here? Sapper and Kling battling it out, and Kling going to the inside, and there is some contact there between the Ferrari and the Jag. Ferrari goes over the track limits there, and I don't think the game will penalize him because that was due to contact. Sapper is all out of shape. Goose has found his way past the Ferrari as well, and Sapper has gone from P1 to P3 in the matter of a few corners. And there is another thing that he must do, which I have said too many times, with the very nice livery there. Sapper is rocked that the whole season, and I would say that's a very nice livery, but that has not helped him hold on to P1, and wiped Sapper away. Yes, indeed, you can see the Goose is wiping the opposition clean. He must pit. He was on the mediums. He is now on the mediums again after a pit stop, and he must go on to the softs. I must have said that like 8 or 9 times already, so it's like I'm just playing a broken record right here. He has to pit to go on to the mandatory compound. I think it's a matter of when. rather than anything else. Let's see, is Sapper going to do the pit lane trip now, later? He does have to pit, right? I'm not making a mistake with that. I'm positive he was one of two drivers who was on the medium tires, apart from, well, where is he? D-Dubs is down in 11th. He is on the mediums as well. Okay, maybe I'm making a mistake. I'll have to go back and have a look. I'm positive Sapper and D-Dubs were the only two on the mediums. So, I'm not sure what's going on with them. Now we are about to see Goose set out to Kling Kachao. Kling has... Well, I'm worried about Kling's fuel level. Further back, what's happening here between Y-Cube, Dijkstra and Vic? Whoa, it's too close and I will have another look at that. Dijkstra is at the tail end of this pack, and by the time we get to turn 1, Vic will, I think, back out, sensibly so, seeing that Dijkstra and Y-Cube are very, very close to one another. There is some contact there. Y-Cube gets a little bit out of shape, Vic gets out of shape, Dijkstra is able to hold on. None of them go onto the grass here. Vic goes to the inside line, through the tunnel we go, and Vic gets back ahead of Dijkstra, and Sapper and Cube, Cube, never mind, not D-Dubs, I'm sorry. Sapper and Cube were on the tires, and okay, this is getting very, very close and very, very feisty, and I think Cherry will have a very good view of it, so let's have a look. Yeah, so it is Sapper does have to pit. Vic and Y-Cube make contact. Dijkstra trying to find a way past. Vic and Y-Cube making contact that sends Vic towards the wall and grazing the wall. Cherry tries to find a way past the Ferrari, and this is going to be a pretty hectic battle here between these guys. And yeah, I think Cherry will be adding that thanks at the end there, because it is helping him out very much. Cherry has the slipstream. Vic may or may not do a bump draft. He does a bump draft, but will it be enough? Cherry is too far back right now from Y-Cube and Dijkstra to try and go for the move here. Holds the inside line nicely, Cherry, and he is now in P8. I think he is going to want to settle into this position, but I don't think it's going to be P8 for a whole lot longer. Deco in 10th. So let's see, will he be getting involved at all in this little battle? Vic and Cherry very close. Cherry has a massive snap there, and into the final chicane. This is going to be 3 wide, and into the chicane we go. There is bound to be some amount of contact here. Well, there was no contact whatsoever. Well done, everyone. Somehow these three have not come together. Very well done, Vic, Deco and Cherry. Unfortunately for Cherry, he has now fallen down the order, and he is now in P9, because at the end of all of this, Sapper has pitted. And oh, what's happening here? Y-Cube and Dijkstra. My word. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. And I can see Goose's message pop up at the perfect time saying that's how it's done. Just as I was about to see this unfold. Dijkstra and Y-Cube both go off track, hit the wall. Dijkstra spins, Cherry hits him, Cherry has damage. Dijkstra is facing the Texaco board and hoarding, I should say. Cherry has damage, Y-Cube has damage, Deco is P6. He is in 8th at this point. He needs to get ahead of as many drivers as he can in order to keep his championship alive, and this has just come out of absolutely nowhere. And I'll have a look at it from his perspective, because that, look at the cinematic camera, it was utter chaos there. Just a moment. Sorry for that. Yes. Let's have a look from Deco's perspective. So there we can see 2 ahead having a moment, and whoa! Dijkstra did clip Deco's car, and how how perfect could the timing be that Deco only had a little nudge because of it. No damage. Deco in 6th. Cherry will be upset. Treading the eye of the needle, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a perfect scenario for Deco. And now he can try and set after Vic, who is on older and more worn out medium tires. It's lap 19. It is approaching the end of the race. Goose and Kling, how are these two going to go about the final few laps? Are they going to try and battle it out? Goose is not close enough to battle out right now. Paul Lewis is running in a good P3. Turbos, I think, put the ghosts of the hard tire well behind him. He is running in a pretty decent P4. He'll be, I think, happy with that. Vic and Deco are going to be battling it out. What about these three? They've had a pretty horrendous... Oh, Dykstra had another movement or something, or did he just take a while to rejoin the track? He is just not enjoying these tires at all, Dykstra. He's fallen to P10. Sapper has gone on to the softs. He's made his mandatory tire change, so everybody has made their tire change as far as I can see. Dykstra will be going towards the final chicane with G-Dubs very close behind him. JMS and KR28 are also now separated by quite a few car lengths. And these two, Cherry and YQ, are we going to see a battle here in these final few laps of the race? Kling needs to be where he is. And Cherry does not want to remain where he is because he wants to get ahead of YQ. As we go into the tunnel, YQ has gone wide there. That is not ideal. He will get a good exit, but I think Cherry will be able to stake his claim. No, I think Cherry backs out of it because he wants to go for the switchback. YQ grazes the wall there. The hard tires are not going very well. Not boding very well for YQ. Cherry is now ahead, and we have a very quick Sapper who has, I can confirm, made his mandatory pit stop. And that is the last time I'm going to say that statement because I've said it like 15 times already. Sapper will be chasing after YQ chasing after Cherry. Deco is not been able to get past Vic as of now. Never say never. Anything's possible. There's a photographer standing at on the rock there. Be careful, photographer. You don't want to accidentally get in the way of someone. YQ, Cherry, Sapper. 3 cars on 3 different compounds of tire. Who's gonna come out on top? Cherry is on the mediums. YQ is on the hards. Sapper's on the softs. So we have a Pirelli tire range on display here. The hards, mediums and softs. Let's see, Sapper gets a good exit. Will he be able to find a way past the Spaniard? And I think he has done so. A good move by Sapper sees him get ahead of YQ, but what could have been for Sapper had he not gone for the 2-stop here? I think it could have probably been a chance at batting it out with these guys, Turbo Boy, Paul Lewis and so on. Vic and Deco battling it out. Deco needs to, and Deco wants to get ahead of Vic. I think currently at this finishing in this position would still give him the points that he needs to finish ahead of Kling in the championship. However, I don't think we'll want to take a chance with that. Vic is doing his level best to keep Deco behind as we go towards the tunnel section for the time. So Sap could have been hit into the wall in the chaos. I think Sapper was too far back to be troubled with that, and we have seen somebody having some troubles, and that is Vic. Vic has... Oh, I think Deco just sends it down the inside. A nice move by Deco. Now Deco and Vic are very, very close to one another. Maybe. I think he would have been ahead of them given the pace he showed, but maybe he would have been caught up. Who knows? Maybe Sapper got a idea that something like that may happen, and that's why he went for the 2-stop. Vic and Deco battling it out, and at the end of that exchange, Vic will still be ahead of Deco. But there is one more lap to go. Kling leads the way. He and Goose are critical on fuel. However, there is just the one lap to go. Kling has enough of an advantage to just put it into mix 2 or mix 3 and just play it conservative, bring it home. What about Luis? Luis is good on fuel. Turbo doesn't have a whole lot of fuel on board right now. Vic does not get a good exit, and Deco is going to capitalize on that. The two Italian cars, Alfa Romeo versus Ferrari, and the Alfa will get ahead of the Ferrari. The pair of them are very similar on fuel, and Vic's Pizza is about to be overtaken by Deco. Into turn 1, the Italian falls to P6, Deco moves up to P5, and that may just have been very crucial for his championship. And no more position gain. Stop that Deco. Well, Vic, there's a very clear message for you from Kling Beast. Stop that Deco. Will he be able to do so? He was able to hold off Deco for quite a few laps, but now that Deco's ahead, will he be able to challenge the Alpha driver, the championship leader? I think this may just be enough for Deco to get the championship, or will it? Deco wants to break the slipstream. He does not want to take any risks. That Ferrari is a handy car around here, and I think Vic will be wanting to make the most of that, but I think Deco is too far ahead to be overtaken right now. And as we go through the hairpin, let's have a look up front. Kling has just enough fuel, just barely enough fuel. You can see that in the bottom left there. Kling has barely enough to get over the line. He will win the race, and yeah, indeed, the noise is completely drowned out with that Ferrari engine. It is an iconic noise, and Kling is going to take the win here at Trial Mountain. But I think, and I know it because I've seen the standings, Goose finishes in P2, Paul Lewis is 3rd, Turbo is 4th, and Deco, he will cross the line in P5. After that early spin, it seemed to be just going all wrong for him, but he's going to come across the line in P5 and take the Drivers' Championship, provisionally be it. Deco wins the championship, Kling wins the race. Vic finishes in 6th, Cherry in 7th ahead of Sapper, Dijkstra in 9th, Vicube in 10th, and D-Dubs outside the top 10. JMS is going to be finishing in 12th, a race to forget, I think, for the Irishman. Drifts across the line. KR28 has had I'm not sure, maybe it's not the most memorable race, but he does finish the race in 13th. And there you go. Kling Kachow wins the race. Deco wins the championship, and Kling is thanking Vic. I think it is the one where the mask is being held in front of the face. So Kling right now, I don't think he's particularly happy. It was definitely great racing, but there was a championship on the line, and Kling, I'm sure, like every racing fan would have loved to get that championship. And there's a yellow flag for some reason ahead of Rocket, who will come across the line in 14th and unfortunately last place to close out what has been an incredible season. So before I shut the stream, fair enough. And thank you guys. That means a lot. It's been a pleasure to cover this season. It's been so damn entertaining. Thank you very, very much, and well, I'm glad I could provide comms in a timely manner as well. So I think, that's a beautiful shot to end the stream on. So let me pull up the driver standings, and there you go. Not tier 3 blue, tier 3 white. There you go. Deco is all this is provisional. Maybe this could have some changes here and there. I'm talking about the guys lower down the order because I've heard there are quite a few reports and so on. Deco takes the championship with 213 points to his name. Kling Beast is 2nd with 206 points. Crucial, however, to note is that Kling did miss a race, so maybe that could have been the change that he needed. Maybe Deco made sure that he maximized all the points that he could throughout the whole race, throughout the whole season, I should say. Deco is first, Kling is second. 7 points separate these two. Currently, there may be 4 positions separating them on track, but there was very little separating them in the championship standings as well. Turbo Boy finishes in third in the standings with 170 points. We have Goose with 154, 58, I should say, sorry. Fancy Locks, who did not do this race or the previous one, finishes in fifth. We have Sherry, which I think is A, who finishes in sixth. JMS in seventh. Sherry eighth. LT Rocker in ninth, and I'm assuming Dykstra is HXLKED, because I'm not going to read the second part of that name. The number 44 driver is in P10. So that is your standings, and obviously we have to look at the constructors as well. Alfa Romeo have dominated it completely. 339 points to BMW's 273, and yeah, I think there was a bit of a, well, I'll just say it was a heated exchange. Not an exchange, actually, it was just a very interesting message that I saw in the channel some time back from A. And A has, I think, indeed left the server. So he is still P6 in the standings. So, and he has helped Lamborghini get P6 in the standings as well. Alpha win the constructors from BMW. BMW beat Jaguar by 13 points. So it was very close. Jaguar at the end just weren't able to get it. I think Y Cube may have had a bit of a race to forget this time around. That could have maybe been the tipping point, given that there was only one BMW in the race today, that was Cherry. Peugeot are fourth, McLaren are fifth, Lamborghini sixth, Subaru in seventh, Mercedes in eighth, Audi in ninth, and Ferrari in 10th. That has been the end of an entertaining season. Thank you to every single driver who took part from race 1 to race 8. All 16 races, sprint and feature combined. It's been an amazing season to watch. But at the end of it all, I will just maybe rewind to give him his time in the sun there, maybe. Deco needs a bit of sunlight. This is your driver's champion, Deco. Very well done. And a very good livery by JMS, as he pointed out as well. The mountains and all. I think it's not on this car, is it? But there you go. This is your driver's champion. Very well done, Deco. Congratulations to Team Alfa Romeo for the constructors title as well. And there you go. That's the mountains. There you go. Nice livery by GMS to signal the end of the season and the final race. And I think GMS, this question has been answered rather convincingly by the pair of you. You are constructors champions, Alfa Romeo, and you are the drivers champion, Deco, for season 19 of the Gr3 championship in ALR, Tier 3 White. With that, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in for all the races. Thank you to all the drivers for an incredibly memorable season. Thank you to the league guys. I only know Ross Thom. Thank you to Ross for organizing the races and so on. But thank you to everyone. It's been a very memorable season. And stay tuned, because very soon we shall be back with season 20. I will try my best to show up for some races. I may not be able to, but I'm very glad to have had the opportunity to do comms this season, and race. So thank you for tuning in, and we shall see you next season. Season 20, indeed, season 20. So congratulations, ALR, for 20 seasons of the Gr3 Championship. And this is going to be, I think, a milestone season as well. So let's see how that pans out. But for now, this is season 19 for Tier 3 White being concluded. Thank you once again, for the third time I'm saying this. Thank you to all the drivers, stewards, organizers, reserves. I'm just trying to include everyone here, because it's been a very memorable season. Thanks to all of you, and very well done to Deco and GMS once again. Constructors champions, Deco drivers champion. Thank you for tuning in. We shall see you soon. Until then, this is Chip Stima signing out. Thank you. Take care and bye bye.